Welcome back to Land House. Emma and I are spending the day together. Ashley's going to get some work done. We are hiking through the Linville National Forest to go see the waterfalls. I forget how long this trail is, but it's quite accessible. A wheelchair could make it up here, no problem. But anyway, so we thought we would bring you along for this little adventure. In the middle of summertime, this place is extremely crowded, but here in mid-September, it's really not too bad. We've not met anybody yet, actually. It's so nice when your child is big enough to walk on their own. I got her past the main bridge up top, and now she's on her own for a while until she gets tired. But we've got a lunch, and we're gonna have a nice little hike here. That's a salamander.
Me?
A salamander. Or a newt. I'm not exactly sure which one. You gonna touch him with a stick? Say bye-bye. Oh, he's moving. There he goes. Okay, we're stepping down to the waterfall now. Water! Whoa! Let me hold you, okay? Water! The really big fall is behind us, but it's a bit further of a walk. I'll have to see if we're up for that after our little picnic. Look at the water. Wow.
Can I take a photo for you?
I'm impressed with this kid. Total trip's gonna be between a half mile and 3/4 of a mile. That was a really good hike. I expect that here in the next couple years, Emma's gonna be up for doing a little bit of camping herself. So my dad and I hiked up here about 4 or 5 miles yesterday in preparation for a camping trip, hopefully next week. Now, there's a permit system, and they only hand out 15 permits on the weekend. All the others you have to call ahead. So we're gonna try and get a permit. If we don't, we might just go camping in the place that we went to previously. And I'm considering, even though my product is not ready on Amazon, I may just go ahead and introduce the product to you on that camping trip. But anyway, I think we're gonna head off to my mom's for a couple of hours just to give Ashley some writing time. Should be fun. We're driving down a road called the Blue Ridge Parkway. It is a 400-mile journey with all kinds of amazing views. Look at that. Just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So anyway, this road is 400 miles and it's just a slow, steady, scenic route, but it is quite often foggy up here and hard to see anything. I literally went around one curve after I turned off the camera. It opened up again. The clouds must have just been on one side of the mountain and not the other. It sure was fun spending time with Emma and getting to go hiking up on the falls. Well, it's bright and early, 7:30 in the morning, which for some people is not early, but for me is early to be out here in the shop. Got a few things I want to accomplish today on my work day. I want to review this cordless drill that was sent to me. I want to get this bench put up here finally. I've been putting it off for a couple weeks because I was building that toddler bed and just wanted to get it done with this bench. I also want to pop loose this. It's glued and screwed, and I want to move it approximately 1 inch down, and that should line up this piece with this. So I wasn't going to do that. I was just going to bring this up some, but I was just convinced that it'll be nicer just to have this the exact height there. And if I ever have to get a different saw, I could just adjust it again, hopefully. Anyway, all kinds of stuff to do today, so let's get started. Okay, there are 2 things I need to do to make this miter saw cart complete. And the first one is take the saw off, drop this top shelf down 1 inch so that it will line up with my wings. And then several people were concerned that over time and use there might be some racking of this. So I've got some plywood back here that I'm going to cut 2 strips out of. And on the back, just above the shelf, I'm going to put a little strip that connects to the sides and the bottom of that shelf. It'll act as 2 different things. Support so it won't rack, and then a little lip so that when I push stuff to the back of this cart, it won't tumble off the back side. So anyway, let's go ahead and get this saw taken off of here and see if I can drop this down. I used wing nuts, so it should be really simple to pull this off of here. I'm looking forward to the day where I don't move this thing anymore. It's just heavy enough to be annoying. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing to break loose without destroying anything. Okay, here's the plan. So whenever I drop this shelf, it needs to be exactly 1 inch lower. And I had cut these boards off of the toddler bed build. So what I'm going to do is use these as support pieces under this shelf. Some people were concerned that the screws alone with the glue would not be enough to hold this. So I'm going to just take my drill and put a couple of pilot holes in here. And also, whenever I make these, I'm going to use this little piece. Anyway, it recesses the head of the screw a little bit. And because I only have 1 1/4 inch screws, it's not quite long enough to go through both. So anyway, I'm just improvising a bit. There we go. So recessing that by about 1/4 inch should get me where I need to be. Anyway, I'm going to put 3 or 4 in each of these, and that'll be enough. I marked down 1 inch and then used my saw guide here to keep this line straight. So now I'm going to come down in here and just mark this. Now I can use that as my guide whenever I put the boards down here. I figured that using the boards first and then dropping down the shelf would be the easiest way to keep this in check. So if I can find a place for these down here. Hit the other side over here. Okay, I've got the last pocket hole screw here. Okay, those are all free. Now I don't really have any kind of good prying knife, so I'm just going to use a 3/4 inch chisel. And also, if you haven't checked out the Green Acre Homestead on YouTube, they sent this really awesome woodworking mallet. So I'm going to use that here to see if I can break loose this wood glue here. Not exactly sure how well this is going to go. Some of it came loose there. It's definitely on there. Alright, I'm just going to work on this for a while and see if I can break it free. Managed to get that to drop down. I also took my square here and measured, and it seems to be where I want it to be. So now it's time to get this thing put back together. And the glue was holding so well that I think I'm going to go ahead and do that again. So let's see about this here. I'm not going to put a whole lot on there, but I think just enough. I'm sure this is about to smear some, but oh well. Maybe I should put it down here this time. I'm going to use the pocket hole screws that are down here still and get this reinstalled. Just got everything bolted back down, and looks like I am maybe a 1/16 of an inch off there. But I think for the kind of work that I do, that's going to be sufficient. And it looks like it's about the same over here. I could actually pull this side down just a touch on this piece here, and that would work. I mean, just sanding it I think would be enough to match that up. But anyway, I think it looks pretty good. Now, next thing I want to do is cut a couple of strips of that to put on the back. Okay, so I've got a 4-inch piece here with some 2-inch screws. And the plan is to go ahead and do wood glue as well. I mean, we might as well make this thing as strong as possible. If this cart racks now with 2 of these strips on here, one up here, one down here, then something's bad wrong. That should pretty well cover everything for the cart here. Have the racking braces on the back side, which also act as a stop for items. I was able to drop down the shelf so that it is pretty much level with the wings. And then lastly, people were concerned that not having these boards down here, that there would be too much weight for those pocket hole screws and glue to support. So anyway, that I believe is a completed miter saw cabinet. So I'm gonna go ahead and start storing stuff down here. I've been putting things like Dremel box and other stuff that I use occasionally down there. But anyway, let me know what you think. I think it looks pretty good. The time has finally arrived that I take my old workbench here that my dad got from his work and put it up here as another storage unit. Now I've got a board up here that I've leveled out and one over there as well. And it's, as you can see, dropped down so that I can set this table up on that board and rest it there while I'm screwing everything in. At least that's the plan. I guess we'll find out if screws are enough to hold this in place without the bracing yet. So let's give it a try. As temporary workbenches go, this one has been good to me. But I'm excited to start using the new one. I need to get the legs off of here first. I can probably recycle these legs as supports for this thing. Luckily it's not as heavy as the bigger version that I made. Let's see here. Good, I used torque screws on this thing. Hard to believe the only thing holding this thing together was 2 screws. Just made a funny mistake. So I put these boards down here, and all that would support is the board that's easy to install basically. I need to move these up top here because up top is where I'm wanting to support the cabinet. But since I've already got these leveled out, I think I'll go ahead and put the boards in there that I need. It's just funny. First time to use the miter saw with the wings at the right height. So I've got a 10-foot board here I need a piece that is 39 3/4 inch for this shelf install. Exactly what it's supposed to do here. Just kept that board from falling over. Not exactly sure how well this is going to go, but I'm just going to try and lift this piece up on top of the ram pump shelves here. Okay, now if I can get up here and move this thing into place some, might be good. My ram pump shelves weren't exactly designed for a whole bunch of weights, but let's see what we can do here. It was a lot more enjoyable whenever I was piecing this together instead of designing it or installing it with the whole thing installed already. Okay, that's what it's going to look like. Now I'm just going to start putting some screws in here to get it to stay up here until I can get the bracing in. There we go. Broke a sweat on that one. To find the brace for this piece, I cut a 2x4 at a 45, and then I just kind of held it up over here until I found the angle I needed. So that's what I've got here. Let me show you how I'm transferring that. So just place this on another board. This one is one I used for the pocket hole toddler bed, but actually didn't need it. So mark the 45, come down here and mark this triangular piece, like that. First I'm going to cut the 45 here. Now I just need to straighten this back out. Right there on 0. I'm going to cut this straight down here. For that strange triangular cut right there, I'm using the skill saw and then the Japanese pull saw to get that done here. Previously I would crank up the jigsaw and it was kind of annoying, so with this it's really simple. Do that right there. Okay. And now I'm coming down from the top into that brace to make sure it's locked into place here. There we have it. The old workbench has now become a shelf. I'm gonna miss that thing, but should come to use there. Now I didn't get it quite level as I would like facing forward here. Side to side it's good, but there's a bit of a lean toward us. So I'll have to make sure I store stuff in there that's not gonna roll. But anyway, Look at all that storage space. It's already full too. I'm not entirely sure how long this vlog has gone so far, but just to recap my progress today, finished up this cabinet, put some stuff on there that I'll move around later. I just filmed a video of getting the router installed on a French cleat shelf. Looks pretty good, I think. Let's see, also did a review on that cordless drill, and got this shelf installed up here finally, and that looks pretty good. So I think now I'm going to do some rearranging of the shop, and then I'm going to make a French cleat storage for all of these pliers and wire cutters and stuff. And I don't think I'm going to bring you along for that. I may just show you the end product and call it good. Well, I just moved some things around real quick. Put the new miter saw cabinet over here. Now the stuff that's on the bottom, I'm going to make its own dedicated shelf later on, I think. But anyway, that's probably where it's going to live for the time being. And I also just finished this little French cleat shelf here. And that is for all of my pliers and all kinds of stuff right there. And I think it's going to work out pretty good. It was easy to build. But anyway, so I think I'm going to end this vlog here. I think that's enough content for you for one day. And I may just continue to pick up this video and maybe post it on like Saturday or something. And just have 2 vlogs this week. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.